Ladies and gentlemen, graduates, faculty members, and distinguished guests, it is my considerable pleasure to welcome you to our first graduation of students completing their degrees at Pima Community College or in our Vail program. This class, I almost started to say this class is our guinea pig, but I think that's probably politically incorrect. This class is our pilot study, let's say that. We began in fall 2002. We began enrolling students in our elementary education program and our business program at Pima Community College East and at Vail. About that same time, we began offering a new special education degree, a master's degree in cross-categorical special education. This degree was designed by Dr. Deb Ryan, especially for students who were unable to complete a degree on main campus for reasons or distance or other considerations. The first classes were offered at Vail, and our first recipients of that degree will be presented today. This class is particularly special to me. In the fall of 2002, I taught a largish chunk of this class in a children's lit course on campus at Pima East. Right, you guys? And I told them they had 4 tough semesters ahead of them, right? And I told them they would have to go through the semester from hell, that is their method semester, before they could student teach and qualify to be teachers. Right, students? And I told them furthermore that when they'd done all that, I'd be up here to greet them at the end of the journey. Right? And here you are, and here I am, and here we all are, and we are so proud of all of you. Now, before we get around to pronouncing you alumni, we have a few other things to get done. First, I'd like to introduce you to our distinguished guest here on the stage. Beginning on my left, if the guest would stand when I call their names, it would help the audience identify them. And audience, if you'd hold your applause till I've finished, that would help as well. First, Dr. Juan Garcia, Vice Provost for Academic Affairs. Regent Fred Boyce, member of the Arizona Board of Regents. Ms. Juanita Valdez, undergraduate speaker graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Education. Ms. Lillian Harrell, graduate speaker graduating with a Master of Arts, Special Education, Rehabilitation, and School Psychology. Dr. Joe Sassone, Director of Curriculum and Professional Development at the Vail School District. Now, on my right, Dr. Randy Groth, Associate Vice President and Dean, University of Arizona South. Dr. Sandra L. Taylor, Vice President for Campus Life. Mr. Ken McRae, President, University South Foundation, Incorporated. Dr. Raul Ramirez, President of Pima Community College East Campus. Ms. Celeste Snyder, Alumnus of the Year, 2004. Mr. James Moffitt, Jr., President of the Associated Students of the University of Arizona South, graduating with a Bachelor of Arts in Education. Dr. Phil Callahan, President-elect, UA South Faculty Forum. I'm first going to introduce you to Dr. Randy Groth. Randy Groth is the dynamo that runs UA South. This is a man who never met a challenge he didn't like. Whether it's pushing the campus into the Pima County or confronting a hive of bees inhabiting the sculpture outside his office, he's up for anything that offers to help build the campus that he has headed since its inception as the branch of the University of Arizona. When I came to UAS in 1996, We had one building and something like 6 tenure-track faculty members. Shortly thereafter, the campus added a building for the language program that we were conducting for the Department of Defense. Randy went to the legislature and lobbied for our next building, our academic technology building, and while that was happening, we built a facility at the Arizona Folklore Preserve in Ramsey Canyon. We currently have under construction an observatory for which we have acquired a telescope so that we can take advantage of our location to do a bit of stargazing. We now have approximately 24 full-time faculty members, and we'll be searching other positions next fall. Essentially, Randy has been the point person for all of this. Meanwhile, he has also been named civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army with the protocols of a 3-star general. I'll tell you, I get tired just reading about what the man does. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the boss, Associate Vice President and Dean of the UAS campus, Dr. Randy Groth.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. Regent Boyce, Vice President Taylor, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, friends, family, and of course, our graduates. It gives me great pleasure to be here today for UA South's first graduation ceremony in Pima County. This has been absolutely a milestone event, and I have to tell you, we could not have done it without the help of several people in the room, and 2 I would like to recognize right now, the president, past president of Pima. Well, I'm not sure how that worked. Past president of Pima Community College East Campus, Mary Redder. Mary, would you stand, please, wherever you are? Thank you, Mary. Mary was instrumental in making this happen for us. Also, Suzanne Miles, who is the Vice President for Instruction at Pima East Campus. Suzanne, are you there? Would you please stand, too? And thank you for everything that you've done to help us. Another milestone that took place over the course of the last several years, and one that was really instrumental, or that really took place this year, is UA South has its own faculty. It has its own tenure-track faculty, a process that's separate from the main campus. And it's a process that concentrates and focuses primarily on teaching, with, of course, public service and research being the alternative support mechanisms for that teaching. And we had 4 people go through that process today, and I would like to have Diane Friend, Dr. Diane Friend, and Dr. Ruth Karchner please stand, because both of those individuals, those faculty that are with us today, have moved from assistant professor to associate professor with tenure. So I want to congratulate you publicly for your role in recognition. First ever for UA South now is we have assistant professors, associate professors, and full professors. And we had 2 of our own faculty that have gone through the process, through the ranks, achieved the full professor title just recently this year. And I would like to have Joni Adamson, Dr. Joni Adamson, and Dr. Jake Jacobs stand up if they're here today and be recognized for their accomplishments as full professor. It's very, very good, a great accomplishment. Thank you for doing that. We also received a letter just recently, and I would like to read that letter because the letter is addressed to you. It's dated May 6, 2004, and it says, "Congratulations. On behalf of the citizens of the state of Arizona, I would like to personally congratulate the graduates of the University of Arizona South at their 2004 commencement ceremony. This outstanding accomplishment is a profound reflection of your dedication to education. I am pleased to have the opportunity to recognize the graduating class for your hard work, perseverance, and commitment. This graduation ceremony is only the beginning of a new and exciting stage of your life. These graduation festivities are certain to be a source of many happy memories for you and your families, friends, and faculty who saw you through the academic challenges. Once again, congratulations and best wishes in all future endeavors. Very truly yours, Janet Napolitano, Governor, State of Arizona." On behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff of U of A South, I would like to thank you for choosing to complete your degree through our campus. We have enjoyed having you as a member of our campus community and look forward to hearing from you as you move ahead to the new challenges in your future. The friendships and professional relationships that you've developed during your time with UA South will remain valuable assets to draw upon as you begin or continue your career. We will be here to assist you should your plans include graduate school, additional classes to expand your career options, or courses that indulge your passion for learning. As you leave our campus, you join the elite ranks of the alumni of the University of Arizona. This new alumni status brings with it the knowledge that you have graduated from one of the finest institutions in the world, and the responsibility to ensure that future generations continue that tradition. Please remember that your success is an inspiration to students and families throughout Southern Arizona who hope to follow in your footsteps and reach their own educational goals. Congratulations on your impressive achievement. Thank you.
I first met Phil Callahan when we were both graduate students in a research design class on main campus taught by Dr. Darrell Sabers. Now, Darrell Sabers is a tough teacher, and while we both ended up with A's, I have to tell you that not all A's are created equal. I got mine by working my anatomy off, getting help, praying. Phil got his A because he's brilliant. What can I tell you? You take the A and run. Phil Callahan is the program chair for our Educational Technology program. This is a program unique on our campus because while it was developed on main campus, whoever made these decisions decided not to offer it in Tucson, so we took it up. It was for us an advantageous decision, particularly advantageous to some extent because Phil Callahan came with the program. He's now offering courses in educational technology at Pima East and probably will offer them in some of our other potential locations. Phil will serve as president of the Faculty Forum next year, and we are looking forward to working with him. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Phil Callahan.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. Honored guests, and most importantly, graduating class of 2004, as the incoming faculty president, I welcome you. I will not offer any collective words of faculty wisdom, as I suspect you've probably heard more than enough of these for some time. Rather, on behalf of the faculty, I would like to thank you. I would like to thank you for the faith you had in us, the faith that we would provide not only for your immediate academic needs, but instill a burning desire for lifelong learning. I would like to thank you for the patience you modeled, the patience that permitted you to acquire and explore new ideas, and finally, dominion of your program of study. And lastly, I would like to thank you for the perseverance you mastered, the perseverance that has earned you the right to sit here as graduates of the University of Arizona South.
James Moffitt is here in his position as president of the Associated Students at the University of Arizona South. James is a wonderful student, and we know for a virtual fact that he will be a wonderful teacher. James has, in fact, been one of my students he was in the last phonics class I taught. I won't tell you what grade he made, that's private. I will say, it's hard to do any better. Those of you who are becoming teachers will find that you will have students who are good students, but not very good people. That's unpleasant, but it's true. You will also have students who are good people, but not very good students, just the way it is. But you will also have students who are very good people and very good students, and those are the ones you will treasure. James Moffitt is such a student. In fact, I can't think of anything negative to say about James unless it might be the fact that he has a tendency to wear t-shirts with provocative messages on them. But since I do that myself, I can't complain about it. James has been a member of Gamma Beta Phi, an honor society for successful students, a member of Phi Theta Kappa Honorary, Golden Key International Honor Society, and was recognized in USA Today for his academic achievements. Last week, the Sierra Vista newspaper ran a full-page story about him. I'm so jealous. Nobody ever ran a story about me. I have to say that if there are school hiring officials in this audience, my recommendation is that you snag this man as soon as possible. He's a jewel. Ladies and gentlemen, James E. Moffitt, Jr.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. I probably should have gone after her because it was really good. Dr. Taylor, Regent Boyce, Dr. Groff, distinguished guests, faculty, family, friends, and especially the graduates. It is a pleasure for me to speak here this afternoon or this morning on this momentous day. As Dr. Harris said, I'm graduating today, and not that I'm counting down or anything, but let's see. It is exactly, let me see, where's it at? 5 hours away, 5 hours and 35 minutes away. I'm ready for that. So I would like to thank you publicly for allowing me to serve as your student government president for 2003-2004. It has truly been an honor. To the graduates, congratulations on your tremendous accomplishment. You are to be applauded. Also, to the family. I know for me, family has been so important. To the family, thank you for your support, love, and sometimes patience. You are also to be commended. I was trying to get all this advice on speeches and public speaking and everything, and everybody told me all this different stuff, like pretend everybody's naked or do all this other stuff. But I have to say, these Mickey Mouse ears right here, it's making it a little bit easier. I'm not going to talk for very long because I know how you guys want to get up here, get this over with pretty quick. I looked everywhere for the perfect quote from the perfect person, and being the elementary teacher that I want to be, I found Dr. Seuss. So I wrote a poem, or I actually took one of his poems, and I changed the words around. It's "Oh, the Places You'll Go" by Dr. Seuss, with a little twist. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have drive in your heart. With a diploma in hand, you're off to a great start. College is over and you know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go. Out there things can happen, and usually do, to people as brainy and scholarly as you. Oh, the places you'll go. You move up and down the promotional tree. Your bosses will say, he's my best employee. With your head full of brains and your diploma in hand, UA South has made you the best in the land. You'll soon reach the top, you'll be the big cheese, an office with a view and vacations and the keys. But lifelong learners we are, you and I, learners of everything under the sky. Oh, the places you'll go. There is fun to be done, there are jobs to be had and corporations to be run. And the incredible things you can do with your education are out of the realm of even your imagination. Successful, you'll be successful as can be in newspapers, radio, and even on TV. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll struggle to succeed. You'll question yourself and your ability to lead. But succeed you will, though your difficulties mount. Succeed you will, though your problems you can't count. Succeed you will, though you may begin to doubt. Succeed through many a disappointing day, though your mood may get crabby and your smile may fade. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98 3/4% guaranteed. Kids, you'll change lives. So, be you study computers, math, ed psych, or business administration, family studies, history, poli-sci, English, or education, you're off to great places. Today is your day. Your occupation is waiting, so get on your way. Thank you.
Dr. Sandra L. Taylor is Senior Vice President for Campus Life at the University of Arizona. She oversees student life, which includes the Dean of Students, the Student Union, the UA Bookstore, Residence Life. She also oversees health and wellness services, human resources, multicultural programs and services, and UA Presents. Under her leadership at the University of Arizona, we have seen the completion of the Student Union and the Bookstore construction project, the addition of 2 new residence halls and current construction of new student housing, addition of a new Strategic Alternatives Learning Techniques program, also known as the SALT program for students with learning disabilities. These are a few among a long list of achievements under Dr. Taylor's oversight. I would add this too, because I find it unusual. A university campus is like a small town with much gossip, and you didn't think we did that, did you? and considerable speculation about those who hold positions of any degree of importance. That's just the nature of the business. I have to say, however, that I have never heard a negative word about Sonia Taylor. Indeed, she's often referred to as something of a go-to woman if there's a problem, or if something needs to be done, she's the one to see. We are indeed honored to have her here today at our first commencement for our UAS students in Pima County. Please welcome Dr. Sonia Taylor.
Thank you very much, Dr. Harris. Can I get you to introduce me at other events? That was wonderful. Well, I am really thrilled to be here, and I'd like to welcome all of the honored guests on the dais, and particularly all the honored guests here, the graduates and your families. It is really something to come after the student body president, who is so eloquent. Really appreciated your remarks. I am also privileged to be here because this is the first commencement ceremony for UA South in Tucson. And I am really excited about that. And I can see by the turnout you are too. It is an honor to help confer degrees this morning and to take part in the hooding ceremony for you, the UA South graduates. When I attended a recognition event for Dean Groth in Sierra Vista several months ago, I had the opportunity to tour the campus facilities at UA South. And I was so impressed with the growth of that campus, but also the growth of the many programs. And I think this morning we are really going to celebrate not only that growth, but what it means, because you are the culmination of those programs. I was impressed with the partnership that U of A South has forged with Cochise Community College, Pima Community College, Vail School District, and so many other educational entities to serve students in this region. The 2+2 program is a fine example of articulation between educational institutions. Such programs greatly benefit students by providing more opportunities to take classes and obtain degrees. I think this convenience is especially helpful for new traditional students who are returning to college while balancing family and work responsibilities. I'd like to take this opportunity to commend and congratulate all of the U of A South graduates for persisting and for persevering. This is a very special day for you. Take pride in your accomplishments and enjoy the festivities today. Thank you.
If there is a single individual who could be said to have contributed the most to the success of our program at Pima East, that individual would have to be Juanita Valdez. Juanita was the student liaison for our first UAS cohort at PCC East, and she has been tireless in her efforts to make the program go and grow. Her nominating letter says that she, quote, encouraged students to apply for our program, supported them in the process, and coordinated the office needs of students while attending school full-time herself, end quote. I'd like to add to that the fact that she did that while functioning as a single parent. Juanita was in the children's lit class I taught here in the fall of 2002. Having her in class was a pleasure not only because she was a fine student, but she made sure that everything in my class went smoothly, as smoothly as possible. Were all the dry erase markers dried up? No problem. Juanita took care of it. Did I need some kind of equipment? No problem. Juanita saw to it. She has assured me that I did not lie when I told the class that they'd have a tough grind for 4 semesters. But you'll notice she made it through with flying colors. Juanita made the Pima East cohort her personal project, once referring to it as my baby. And we owe her a debt of considerable gratitude. Ladies and gentlemen, Juanita Valdez.
Okay, so everybody get ready because I'll probably cry. And of course, my notes are all mixed up, so give me a moment, please. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Harris. Regent Boyce, Dean Groff, Vice President Taylor. I know why. Today finalizes the years of hard work and studying for the entire graduating class. We have all taken different paths that have led us to this momentous occasion, and I would like to share my story. I know why I wanted to become a teacher, and her name is Ruth Mervold. She was my third grade teacher at John B. Wright Elementary, and she is in the audience today, and I would like to thank her for igniting that spark of motivation to become a teacher. When I asked why I was selected to be commencement speaker, I was told that I represent what this program is about. This program was developed for the non-traditional student, those students that finished high school yet got caught up in the responsibilities of life. For me, this meant that in a matter of 6 years, I went from Mrs. Valdez, stay-home wife and mother of a toddler, to Ms. Valdez, single working mom, full-time student, graduating with honors and a bachelor's degree in elementary education. It has been a hard and arduous journey, and on many occasions I gave serious consideration to just dropping out. Life would have been so much easier, yet now that I look back, every problem, obstacle, and difficult choice that I had to make has been worth every sleepless night. Although external support was not there when I first returned to college, there were two important people instrumental in my success. My son Dallas, who was my motivation to make the investment in our future. My mom Beverly, when I told her I would like to go back to college, but it would take me about 6 years to finish, she made a life-changing comment to me. Well, in 6 years you can be 6 years older, or in 6 years you can be a teacher. The choice is up to you. I would have not made it this far without her. She has been there as a babysitter when I had night and weekend classes, as a sounding board to speeches I had to write, and she listened as I complained I couldn't do this, as she continued to gently nudge me in the right direction. As I progressed in my education and obtained 2 associate degrees from Pima Community College, another key component to my success was when the University of Arizona South education program came to Pima Community College. Being a non-traditional student with other responsibilities in my life, the idea of the big campus and campus life did not appeal to me. Coming from Pima College and the more intimate campus setting, I realized I could get a university degree in a small campus environment. By becoming the student liaison between Pima East Campus and U of A South, I have had the privilege of watching the program grow. We are graduating 19 education students, 9 business students, and 4 graduate students who have earned their master's degrees. I would like to thank the staff at U of A South for making it all possible. Dr. Craig Johnson, Associate Dean of External Affairs, Pam Scanlon, Program Coordinator, Nina Thaxter, Senior Academic Advisor, Mona Bro, Academic Advisor, Vicki Rupel, Financial Aid Counselor, and of course we can't forget Nancy Thompson, U of A South Bookstore. Dr. Albert Gonzalez, Assistant Coordinator, Office of Field Studies, and especially John Covington, Program Coordinator, Student Academic Services, with whom I've had the pleasure of working with both at Pima and U of A South, and who has helped me not only as a professional, but as a friend as well. And to all the other outstanding staff that has worked so hard at making this program a success. The program has grown exponentially already, and at this point, the College of Education is looking to graduate 45 education students next year. As a part of this program over the past 2 years, I have had the honor of knowing some of the most incredible people. Our cohort, as anyone will tell you given the chance, is the strongest and closely knit group of individuals who have brought to the program their own life experiences and wisdom. We have been there for each other every step of the way. With encouragement and fondness, we have persuaded each other to complete the journey. I now have the pleasure of sharing this day with each of you. Through our struggles, there is one thing certain: no one can ever take this accomplishment away from us. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Roth and Dean Harris for envisioning this program outside of Sierra Vista, to Darla Brown, Coordinator of Field Studies, and to Dr. Joe Sassone, Director of Curriculum and Professional Development of the Vail School District, for implementing this program with Pima and Vail and arranging our student teaching practicum. To Jackie Schmidt for bringing humor into a stressful semester. To Dr. Ernest Francis for helping us understand what teaching science means and how enjoyable it could be. To Debbie Hedgepeth for giving us the tools necessary in breaking down the barriers of teaching mathematics. To Dr. Maureen Girard, whose teaching of language arts has brought forth a lost love of journaling. To Sharon Miller, you have gone above and beyond the call of duty. My success in my student teaching practicum would not have been possible without your help and guidance. And to Flory Simon, who was a beacon of support and guidance that enhanced our ability to meet our educational goals. As I reflect, as we did so many times in your classes the past 4 semesters, you have done more for each one of us than words can ever describe. For me, it was the last-minute phone calls or emails with your continuing words of wisdom of either, "It will be fine," or "Suck it up, you have to do this." The feelings that each one of us share for you is far beyond the written word. As Alan Loy McGinnis so poignantly put it, there is no more noble occupation in the world than to assist another human being, to help someone succeed. Flory, you are the epitome of this noble occupation we call teaching, and we hope to emulate you in our classrooms. Flory, we love you. The U of A South program has exemplified caring over the last 2 years. You have all shared your wisdom with us and showed us just how much you care. The way you taught us to be agents for change in our careers by caring. Caring is the cornerstone of this program. This program is just small enough to ensure that everyone succeeds. Everyone involved in this journey, from family and friends, co-workers, faculty, and staff, have proven beyond a shadow of a doubt how much they care about the success of our program and our success. I would like to close with a quote by Paul Hersey and Ken Blanchard of the 1 Minute Manager, 1974. "People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care." As a representative of the U of A South graduating class of 2004, we thank you.
I first met Lillian Harrell when she was a student in my undergraduate children's lit class. Have you noticed a common thread running through all these student speakers? They've all been my students. Coincidence? I don't think so. Lillian is today our graduate speaker as she receives her degree in special education. I truly believe that there's a special place reserved in heaven for people who aspire to be special ed teachers. Lillian has had this in her mind from the time she began her elementary education degree. In fact, she asked me how she might go about obtaining both degrees, and I had to refer to someone else as I had no idea. But midway through her certification program, we began the cross-categorical master's degree in special education, and Lillian joined that cohort in Vail. Her nominating letter, addressing the fact that she obtained a special education position in Rio Rico with emergency special ed certification, says, "As any public school teacher knows, the first year of teaching is extremely demanding. Yet Ms. Harrell had the additional burden of a long commute, the reality that she was not fully prepared in her field, and the burden of full-time graduate work. With all of this, she seldom missed class, maintained a 4.0 GPA, and demonstrated a most positive attitude. We believe that Lillian exemplifies the best of our UAS student population, and I am proud to introduce her as our graduate speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. Yes, I might hire you to do my eulogy here. Regent Boyce, Vice President Taylor, Dean Groff, President Ramirez, Dr. Ryan, distinguished guests, faculty, staff, my fellow graduates, family, friends, my sweet, adorable mom, and those I wish were here, Dr. Evans, and Chris Fontes, the special ed director who was willing to take a risk and hire me last year, even though my education was not complete at that time. Recently, I was given a survey question which asked me, what would make you most afraid? And the choices, as best I can remember, were A, learn a new sporting activity, B, go to a social event where you knew few people, C, go to an unfamiliar country, or D, speak in front of a large group of people. There must be a direct correlation between what we fear the most and what we are given as challenges, as here I stand before you now, having chosen the last. Another survey I filled out as part of the graduation process asked me what milestones I had reached during this course of study, such as marriages or births in the family. I couldn't think of any, so I put nothing. But in retrospect, as I thought about the question later, wondering what kind of boring life I'd led while I was in school, I realized several things of consequence had happened. I'm not quite sure how this happened, but more divorces happened in the family than marriages. My daughter graduated top of her class at the Douglas Avionics program. She works in Fairbanks now, fixing planes. The most exciting birth was when the neighbor's cat had kittens, and the patter of little feet became a full gallop from one end of my house to the other, up and down all my drapes. The day after Christmas, a year and a half ago, my father died. It took a funeral to reunite my far-flung family members. One member who was not able to attend was my oldest son, who was serving in Iraq at that time. To this day, I try to avoid how close I came to losing him during the year he spent there. And my youngest now stands taller than me. Surely that counts for something. I also thought about my classmates and all that they have lived through during the same time period. Bobby did get married, and she's worked full-time throughout this course of study. Almost every week, she'd come to class with a new story about how frustrated she is with a coworker who does not seem to know the meaning of the word team. One dog disappeared, a new puppy came into their lives, and within the year, the stork will be paying them a visit. And Michelle was the glue who kept us together. She remembered my birthday year after year, even though I didn't even know when hers was. But she lost one job, she had a gap between when the old house sold and the new one was ready, and had to depend on the kindness of friends to provide housing for a summer. Then a new job, new challenges, and finishing up work that hadn't gotten done while all her books and papers were packed up. And I thought this last semester was challenging for me. Our instructor, Deb Ryan, also had her share of joys and sorrows. In December, she formally became Dr. Ryan, but that was after losing her canine companion of 16 years at Thanksgiving. Then, within the last 2 months, she was diagnosed with diabetes, a life-changing illness. And while it has not been a good thing for her, one side effect has been that we stopped bringing candy and sweets to nibble on during class and started bringing vegetables and healthy food. Some of our classmates have battled depression. We are all battling the bulge after a stressful final semester. Some of us worked full-time during the entire program. Some of us balanced undergraduate and graduate work at the same time. So we are all emerging from this program feeling battle-scarred and weary. Dr. Ryan tells us that most people go into special education for a reason. We either have a bit of a problem ourselves in that area, or know someone who struggles with schooling and academics. Personally, I have a bit of a processing problem. It took me until I was in my late 40s and over the hump of my midlife crisis to decide what I wanted to be when I grew up. Had you told me back when I was in college the first time, about 100 years ago, that I would be a teacher now, I would have given you the same reaction I have now to the thought of giving birth. I don't know when I first heard the term special education, but I guarantee it was nowhere near that time. I did work as a teacher's aide a few years ago, and some of my duties included working with a special ed teacher and her students, and I really enjoyed that. And as I watched my youngest child struggle with learning to read and saw him go from special education programs in 3rd grade to the gifted program in 5th grade, it occurred to me that giving children the tools to do battle with their disabilities was how I wanted to make a difference in this lifetime, to make the world a better place for my having been here. In closing, I have only 2 bits of advice for you. The first is this. It doesn't matter if it takes you half a lifetime or more, or if you know right now, but find some way to make a positive contribution to the world we live in. The field is so wide, every one of us can find a path that leads to betterment for someone, somewhere. The second is this. Should you ever be confronted with a survey which asks you to name something you fear, be sure to mark the one that says A, learn a new activity. Hopefully, the next time we meet, we'll be scuba diving off the Great Barrier Reef.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have a brief musical interlude while the graduates are being lined up to receive their...
Lillian Hurrell. Lillian has previously attended Brigham Young University and the University of Arizona South. She's graduating with a 4.0 GPA. She did her student teaching with the Huachuca City School K through 5. Her plans after graduation to teach special education.
Bonnie Lee, Mayor. She's graduating with a GPA of 4.0. Her plans after graduation include teaching and possibly a job in special education. She would like to thank her son Taylor and her husband Jason for their support and encouragement over the last 2 years. Without it, she would not have been able to obtain her degree.
Michelle Rusma. After graduation, Michelle plans to continue teaching in the special ed department at Saurita Middle School. She would like to thank her husband Will, who took up my duties around the house so that I could study. My daughters Nicole and Amanda for understanding that Mom wasn't always available for the fun stuff. And finally, my mom for her encouragement and belief that I could accomplish this milestone. Really kept me going.
Jessica Agnew Wild. She's graduating on the Dean's List with distinction, Dean's Honorable Mention, and Phi Kappa Phi. She would like to thank her husband, Chris, her children, Alexander and Cassandra, her mother, Carol, and her mother-in-law, Mary.
Michael E. Bauer. Michael was on the Dean's List during his time with the UA South, did his student teaching in Old Vale Middle School, 6th grade. After graduation, he plans to teach in the middle school.
Christy Lynn Broderick. She's graduating with the Golden Key International Honor Society, Dean's List with Distinction, Dean's Honorable Mention in the TRICO Scholarship and Valley Fund Scholarship. She's also graduating with a GPA of 4.0. She did her student teaching at Desert Sky Middle School, 7th and 8th grade math.
Stephen Carl Foote. Stephen was a member of Gamma Beta Phi and is graduating with a GPA of 4.0. Did his student teaching at the Fort Lowe Elementary School, 3rd and 4th combination. After graduation, he wants to pursue a master's degree at Pepperdine in elementary ed. Would like to thank his professors, advisors, family, and friends.
Amy Lynn Froberg. She's graduating with the Dean's Honorable Mention, Gamma Phi, Dean's List, Phi Lambda Theta, and Phi Kappa Phi. She did her student teaching in Ironwood Elementary, 1st grade, and she would like to thank her family for believing in her and supporting her through her endeavors.
Vicki Lynn Goff. Vicki was on the Dean's List with Distinction and the Dean's List with Honor. She did her student teaching at Desert Willow Elementary, 3rd grade in the Vale District. She would like to thank her mother and father-in-law, her husband Garrett, daughter Nicole, and son Scott for their support.
Leanne Elise Gross. She's graduating on the Dean's List. She did her student teaching at Hudlow Elementary, 1st grade. Her plans after graduation are to get a wonderful teaching position and get her master's degree. She would like to thank Marcos Frederico, Carrie and Eric, John and Rosa Frederico, and her family and friends that supported her through the years.
Megan A. Heaney. Megan was on the Dean's List. She did her student teaching at Peter Howell Elementary School, 2nd grade, in Pam Selby's class. After graduation, she wants to teach elementary school and get her master's. She would like to thank her family for all of their support.
Tamara Dagmar James. She's graduating with the Golden Key Honor Society. She did her student teaching at Wheeler Elementary, 2nd grade, and her plans after graduation are to get a teaching position and pursue a master's in arts. She'd like to thank her family and friends.
Joni Lau. Joni was on the Dean's List honorable mention. She's graduating with a 3.8 GPA. After graduation, she'll be substitute teaching and wants to pursue her music career. She would like to thank her family for flying out from Washington State to support her. And she wants to thank her friends who've been there for her.
Tara Lynette Liverman. She's on the Dean's List. She did her student teaching at Acacia Elementary, 5th grade, in all subjects. Her plans after graduation are teaching 1st grade at Acacia. She would like to thank her dad, mom, and sister.
Marcy Moore. Marcy is graduating with a 4.0 GPA. She did her student teaching at Borman Elementary, 3rd grade, all subjects. After graduation, she plans to continue her education and teach the 2nd grade. She'd like to thank her son Isaac Moore, her boyfriend Staff Sergeant Jason Clark, for being supportive, understanding, and flexible. He's awesome.
Rita Judith Nicholson. Her prior schooling includes Pima Community College. She's on the Dean's List in Phi Theta Kappa with distinction. Her student teaching is Cottonwood Elementary, 4th grade. She'd like to thank her mother, Janet, for helping her make sure that her daughter got to school and took care of her daughter putting up with her.
Joan Marie Neeson. Joan was a member of the Gold Key International Honor Society, Gamma Beta Phi, had Dean's Honorable Mention and Dean's Honors. She's graduating with a 3.8 GPA. Did her student teaching at Desert Willow Elementary, 2nd grade. Plans to teach in the 2nd grade when she graduates. She would like to thank her family and friends for their encouragement and support.
Juanita Louise Valdez. She's on the Dean's List with distinction. Gamma Beta Phi, and of course our commencement speaker. Her student teaching is at the Mother of Sorrows Catholic School in Ford Elementary, 1st grade. Her plans after graduation, employment. She would like to thank her mother, Beverly, and her son, Dallas.
David Vernon Van Kirk. David was on the Dean's List with distinction and was the Outstanding Student Teaching Program graduate. He did his student teaching at John B. Wright Elementary, 3rd grade. After graduation, he plans to teach here in Tucson as soon as possible. He'd like to thank his wife, Ricky Ann, his father, John, and his mother, Carol.
Anna Cynthia Ahorquez. She's graduating Phi Kappa Phi, Beta Gamma Sigma, Honorable Dean's List, and Federal Women's Program Scholarship. Her plans after graduation: pursue a master's degree and apply for a military commission. She would like to thank her father for the motivation, inspiration, and hard work. Her supervisor, Tim Day, and co-workers for all their help and support, and her new baby for helping find the strength that she didn't know she had.
Christina D. Gamboa. Christina was on the Dean's List, Honorable Mention. It was a member of Gamma Beta Phi and the International Honor Society. She would like to thank her family for all their love and support.
Audrey Giordano. Her honors include Beta Gamma Sigma and Phi Kappa Phi with an honorable mention. She's graduating with a GPA of 4.0, and she'd like to thank her husband, Guile, her mom, Leoa, her dad, James, and her children, Gabriel, Robert, Joshua, and Kyra, her sister, Jamala, and fiance, Michael, her sister, Tanisha, and nephews, TJ and Bryson.
Rebecca Lee Lutz. Rebecca was on the Dean's List and is graduating with a GPA of 4.0. After graduation, she plans to pursue a master's degree in environmental management and international business management. She would like to thank her dad, Elizabeth, and her co-workers.
Angela Teresa Martinez. She's graduating with honors on the Dean's List. Her plans after graduation include an MBA at the University of Arizona. She'd like to thank for the support and encouragement of Mario, Mom, Dad, Kat, Tommy, Tia, Tio, Jamie, Mike, Tiki, Gigi, Dr. Bissell, Aunt Ada, and baby Tootie. She loves you all.
Erin Meese. Erin was a member of Gamma Beta Sigma Society, Gold Key International, and was on the Dean's List Honorable Mention. After graduation, he plans to enter the business world. He would like to thank his wife and family and friends, and of course, Dr. Bissell. Thank you for all your support.
Selma Ribeiro da Cruz. She's graduating with honors, Phi Gamma Sigma, Honorable Mention, Dean's List, and Gold Key International Honor Society, and Phi Kappa Phi. She'd like to acknowledge her husband, Paulo, for his support, understanding, and encouragement. Also her children, Anna, David, Vinnie, Kim, Vito, Michaela, and her granddaughter Gabriella.
Alan Keith Wall was on the Dean's List, honorable mention, and the Dean's List with distinction. After graduation, he plans to pursue a career in the White Mountain area. He would like to thank his wife, Deanne, daughter Joanne, and his parents, Keith and Gayla Wall, and his family.
Mark Thomas Wilhelm. He's graduating Gamma Beta Phi Society and Dean's Honorable List mention. He plans to pursue a master's in business administration. He would like to thank his wife, Megan.
Barry Matthews Fulcher is graduating with a 4.0 GPA. After graduation, he wants to focus on being an A-plus father, husband, and educator in the Vail community. Would like to thank his wife, Rena, for believing in me and encouraging me to do what I enjoy, teaching. Without her support, I would still be dragging my feet in some office, furious and hating my job.
Sherry Irene Scannell. She's graduating on the Dean's List with distinction. She did her student teaching at Donaldson Elementary School, first grade. She's still exploring her options for graduation, and she would like to acknowledge and thank her mom, dad, and all of her classmates for their support.
And finally, Patrick A. Whalen. Patrick did his student teaching in Vail High School, 10th through 12th grades, U.S. history and U.S. government. After graduation, he plans to find a teaching position. He would like to thank his son Alex, who sat with me while doing my homework. He was doing his too. He was a great motivator.
Will those individuals receiving a master's degree please rise? Madam Vice President, it is my honor to present to you those candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the Master of Arts degree.
By the authority vested in me by the Arizona Board of Regents, I confer upon each of you the appropriate master's degree as recommended by the faculty of the university. In accordance with usual custom, you as individuals are entitled to all the rights and privileges which pertain to your degree, here and elsewhere.
Please be seated. Will all of those receiving a bachelor's degree please rise? Madam Vice President, it is my honor to present to you those candidates who have satisfied the requirements for the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Education and Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
By the authority vested in me by the Arizona Board of Regents, I confer upon each of you the appropriate bachelor's degree as recommended by the faculty of the university. In accordance with usual custom, you as individuals are entitled to all the rights and privileges which pertain to your degree, here and elsewhere.
Please remain standing for just a moment, please. Now to perform the final rite of graduation, I invite Regent Fred Boyce to the podium. Please remain standing.
I'm supposed to ask you to rise, so thank you, sir. The origin of awarding degrees and graduation ceremonies began in medieval Europe. That's some 900 years ago now, at the University of Bologna in Italy. This process spread very rapidly to the University of Paris in France and to Oxford and Cambridge universities in England. The procedures for awarding degrees at this institution are based on the practice developed at the University of Paris in the late 12th and 13th centuries. As the final rite of this passage called Commencement, and as a visual symbol of completion of your apprenticeship at University of Arizona South, please move your tassels from the right to the left. And on behalf of the Arizona Board of Regents, I extend my warmest congratulations on your completion of your degrees. You may be seated. Thank you very much.
Well, graduates, I have to tell you, I welcome you to a community consisting of over 200,000 University of Arizona alumni located all over the world. This is an elite group of predecessors of whom you now become a part. I invite Miss Celeste Snyder to the podium, who has been recognized as the second UA South Alumna of the Year. Celeste, would you join me up here, please? And she was honored in a biennial celebration on April 24th. Thank you for joining us today. She doesn't know she's going to get to sing here in a minute. I ask all of the U of A alumni in the room, please stand up. All of those who are U of A alumni in the room, please stand up. Okay, graduates, I want you to look around the room at this august body of individuals. You've joined a new rank of elite individuals graduating from one of the finest institutions in the country. So why don't we please remain standing. Applause for these folks, please. Please remain standing and join us in singing the University of Arizona alma mater, which is in your program. Seated. Thank you.
I need to bring James Moffett back for a presentation. James?
On behalf of 2003-2004 student government, I am going to present a star, which we use as funding for the observatory, to Dr. Randy Groff on behalf of the class of 2004.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our ceremonies today, and as usual, I get the final word. I'd be happier about that if I hadn't attended more graduations than most of you will ever have occasion to attend, and I know that no one ever remembers anything said in graduation speeches. So I'll just say that we're very proud of all of you. We encourage you to go over to Pima for the reception to say your goodbyes to your classmates and teachers, and go celebrate. Do remember us. Come back and visit on occasion. But remember that you have now become that most valuable of assets, U of A alumni. So trust me, you don't have to find us. We will find you. Besides, many of you now have substantial financial aid packages, the gift to which you keep on giving. So go out, do your best to make us even prouder, and by all means celebrate. The faculty certainly intend to. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I ask you to rise for the recessional, let me say one thing. We would ask that as soon as the recessional is over, you vacate the building as soon as possible. Santa Rita needs this room back, and we've promised to be out of here ASAP. So thank you for helping us out on this. If you will now stand for the recessional.